Hi, welcome to this week's video. My name is Paul. So this week I'm going to talk about some progress that I made using soft pastels. This video is not really about soft pastels. It's just about me trying to make progress with a particular medium. So if you're in the same sort of situation, you're using a medium but maybe struggling with making progress, the video might have some ideas that are useful. So soft pastel was really the first medium that I used when it comes to what people sometimes call fine art, so landscape painting and so on. I tried it for a couple of years or so, didn't really make a huge amount of progress with it, switched to acrylic, didn't make a huge amount of progress with that either, and then sort of gave up. And for about 10-15 years or more I didn't do any art. 5 or 6 years ago got back into doing art again. I tried using soft pastels, but again it wasn't working. And the two images on screen are a couple of paintings from that sort of time period. It's me trying to get back into using soft pastels again, and I wasn't really happy with these paintings. It was around about that time I sort of switched to using watercolor, and after a while I started making some progress with watercolor, and it became my sort of go-to medium to use. But when I was thinking about watercolor painting and how I made progress, and then could I use some of those ideas to maybe go back to, say, soft pastel painting and try and make some progress. So some of the things that I did, this is an example of a more modern attempt at a soft pastel landscape. So some of the things I did, first of all, I tried to give myself a direction to go in. So something to aim towards, a style of painting that I enjoyed, and also a particular artist that I enjoyed. And could I try and recreate some of that using soft pastel? So one of the things you can see in this painting compared to the earlier ones is it's a lot looser. There's a lot more paper that's just been left blank. And I'm not trying to build up layers, complicated layers. I'm keeping everything as simple as possible. And this was deliberate. It wasn't just by accident. Part of it was because I like the sort of aesthetic of a looser landscape. I wanted to be more expressive with the marks that I was making with the soft pastels. So rather than trying to build up layers and do it the way that a lot of people do, I instead go for more of a sketch-based approach, just looser with expressive marks. One of the artists, the artist really that inspired this change was an artist called Joan Erdley, and you can see an example of one of her paintings on the right. She did use soft pastels from time to time, but a lot of her landscape paintings were done with oil. But it inspired the sort of direction that I wanted to go in. And on the left you can see an example of a soft pastel landscape, and maybe you can see some influence from Joan Erdley's style. It's not a complete copy. The composition is similar, but it's trying to move in a certain direction inspired by this artist. So that's the main point of the video really. If you're struggling with a medium, try and find an artist, an art style that you really like. Can you sort of isolate some of the things about that style that you do like, and then try to recreate that using whatever medium it is that you're working with. Now that doesn't mean that tomorrow everything will change. You still have to build up confidence and experience in using that medium, and that just takes time. Some people can do it in a few weeks, some of us take years, but stick with it, keep going, don't give up, sort of thing. I did give up in the past, I regret that. Try and avoid giving up. couple more recent examples. Also, another thing that I did was studying sort of color theory and getting my own ideas and how I might want to apply those ideas in my artwork. So using more limited palettes with the soft pastels. Two images on screen, very, very similar compositions, but very different color schemes. So the one on the left, sort of springtime, the one on the right, more sort of winter. So with landscapes, I very much think about the seasons and what sort of color palettes I'll use to represent each season. So that's it. I'm happier now than I have ever been with soft pastels. I enjoy using them, and it was that process of just being inspired by particular artists and having a clear idea in my head what sort of direction I wanted to go in. What was I trying to achieve with these soft pastels? If you made it this far in the video, thank you for watching and listening, and hopefully see you again in next week's video.